What's up, YouTube? This is Big Mike. I want to give a shout out to Town Biz for his video talking about the game tonight between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Orlando Magic. I agree with everything he said. I don't take too much stock into this game. I don't put too much stock into this game. It's a regular season. Cleveland has never really been a team that wins a huge amount of regular season games. They do play to the level of their competition. There's been so much mixing and matching of lineups over the past year with this team, trying to see if this works, if that works. You're going to have these ups and downs with this team. And also, as I've said before, when you have a team that's older like Cleveland is, you're going to have days when they look good, and there are going to be days when they just look fucking old, okay? I remember watching the Bulls during their last run, and that last year, the 97-98 team, sometimes the Bulls look like their 96 version, and then sometimes the Bulls look like a group of old men out there just playing and need to retire. It wasn't often, but it happened. But like I said, man, the NBA, I like it. A lot of people, I don't like the fact that all the players went to the Western Conference, but what I do like is that, and I'll get to the game in a minute, but I just want to make a point right quick. I do like the fact that because so many players went to the Western Conference, now there's at least some competition in the West. Golden State's probably still going to go to the finals, but at least give me at least the illusion of competition, okay? With Cleveland getting older, some of the teams are starting to come up there on the horizon, For a long time, Cavs didn't really have any competition in the Eastern Conference. Now you got other teams that are looking like something. 4 or 5 years ago, when LeBron was with the Miami Heat, who was there really in the East? Maybe Indiana. Boston was falling apart with, their trio of Garnett, Pierce, and Allen. They were getting old. They didn't really have any competition in the Eastern Conference. Now, LeBron is still near his prime, but he's not quite as dominant as he once was. He still has the ability to take over games at times, but not at the level that peak LeBron did. There's teams out there in the Eastern Conference. You have the Washington Wizards, all right? But the team that people, and of course Boston, but Boston is not going to do anything this year because of the horrible injury to Gordon Hayward. But the one team that people don't mention, and 78 is going to love this, is the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo is for real, okay? I'm going to do a video about him before I go to bed. But there's, there's at least the illusion of competition. To use a political reference, I don't want everything to be a goddamn 49 state Reagan landslide, Unless you're a fan of Reagan, it gets boring to watch a guy win every fucking state. You want, to watch something like Bush versus Gore or Trump versus Clinton last year, even though the candidates sucked. But the event, watching it was suspenseful because you didn't know who was going to win. As a matter of fact, it was kind of an upset because most people didn't feel like Trump was going to win. But I'll go into politics. But go back to the game, right? What's his name? Nikola Vucevic. All right, coming off a 41-point game. He played well again for the teams. For Orlando Magic, scored 23 points. Cleveland just didn't look well. It didn't look good. Wade looks old, okay? LeBron, by his standards, had a subpar game with deception shooting. He shot 8 of 15 from the floor. Nobody really played well for Orlando. No, not really. The only good thing I can say about LeBron James is this is one thing I loved about him as a player, even though I'm critical of him. But people, mistake criticism for hate, and that's not what criticism means. I love his shooting percentage, man. I've always loved it about LeBron James. LeBron James has to be getting close to 50% for his career. Last I checked, he was shooting something like 49.6% from the floor for his career. Let me check something out right quick. Because the first 3 games of this season so far, LeBron James is shooting 60% from the floor. I see an article right here that said LeBron James says Cavs still trying to figure out rotations. Yeah, they are. And the hell am I looking for? Oh, here we go. For his career, so far this season too, LeBron's that's the first 2 games. I have to kind of figure out in my head what he's probably averaging. So for the first 2 games, he's averaging 26.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, 8.5 assists. I would figure now he's probably averaging something like 25 points, or maybe like 25 points, maybe 8 rebounds and 7 assists, or I might be off with that. But the thing I like about LeBron, for his career now, LeBron is shooting 50.1% from the floor. So for his career, he's actually over 50%. That's what you call an efficient scorer. That's why I never understood people say he's not a great scorer. He is. What are you talking about? He averages more points per game than Kobe Bryant did. And he shoots a far higher field goal percentage. And he shoots a higher three-point percentage. He's a 50.1% field goal shooter. And he's a 34.2% career three-point shooter. All right? He isn't the greatest foul shooter in the world. Only shot 74%. Only shooting 74%. But he averages 27.1 points per game. Compared to Kobe, who averaged 25 points per game for his career. Shot 44.7% from the floor for his career. And a 33% three-point shooter. But somehow Kobe's a better scorer than LeBron. I just disagree with that. I don't care if LeBron says he's not a great scorer, he is. And the free throw shooting, 74%, that's a little bit low. But, Chuck Person was never a pure free throw shooter. And Dale Ellis was under 80% for his career. And Dale Ellis is one of the greatest three-point shooters we've ever seen. So that's that point. But LeBron is, whatever. LeBron is a great, exceptional basketball player. Top 5 in my opinion. But Cleveland will get it straight. This is what I wanted to say. I think Cleveland, it'll never happen because it's not LeBron's game. He's not a physical player, not by nature. But one thing I've always fantasized about a little bit with Cleveland, man, I really wish that LeBron had learned to play in the post earlier in his career. Let me ask you guys something, man. I know it's not going to ever probably happen, but what if LeBron was at the 4? Imagine Kevin Love at the 5, LeBron at the 4, right? At the 3, maybe Crowder. At the 2, maybe Jalen Rose. Well, no, Wade, excuse me. Wade at the 2. At the 1, Rose for right now. Well, I know they have Calderon now, I think. But I think it's the backup guard, isn't it? Isn't it Calderon? But nominally at the 1, Rose, and then when he comes back, Isaiah Thomas. That means that on the floor, you would have, with Rose in the lineup, you would have, what would that be? 1, 2, 3 decent to good three-point shooters. But when Thomas would come back, there would be 4 decent or good to great three-point shooters on the floor. I just wonder about LeBron playing the 4 because he would be such a nightmarish matchup for whoever the fuck is at the 4. I mean, I just envision him being like an even more. Now, he doesn't have the strength of Karl Malone. He's strong, but he's not Karl Malone strong. And I hate when people keep saying that. Karl Malone is one of the strongest sons of bitches that ever played in the NBA, and he was tough as fucking shit, okay? But LeBron is strong. He's 6'8.5" probably. He's 260 pounds or so, maybe 270. And he has the quickness of a perimeter player, but the size to play a power forward. Do you know how much of a nightmare matchup he probably would be? You know, a guy who can shoot from range, can get by virtually any four in the league, you know, as far as quickness. Fours don't have the lateral quickness to keep up with this guy. I mean, he would be a fucking nightmare at the four. An absolute nightmare. Now, defensively, of course, he probably couldn't contain that many people. But then again, let's think about it. In this league right now, how many people at the four really are premier? I mean, you have some, of course, you know, but more often than not, you know, I can see LeBron getting in maybe some foul trouble issues, but I think offensively, the gains made from that will offset any losses you would have on the defensive end, okay? And I see LeBron getting a lot of steals just going up against some of these fours, man. I just can imagine the looks that Cleveland would get. But they'll never do that because LeBron's not probably naturally a four, and he doesn't probably want to deal with the physical aspects of that position. That's just something that I threw out there. But tell me what you guys think, man. Do you think this loss means anything? I don't, because Cleveland always wins something like 52, 53 games, 54, 50 games. You know, regular season doesn't matter to them too much. I gave up on giving up. I gave up putting too much stock in the regular season last year because they looked horrible after their first. Really, Cleveland's last 40 games last year, they looked average and sometimes bad, and they still made it to the NBA Finals. So until proven otherwise, I'm just not going to put too much stock into the regular season. I'm just not. I have to see more evidence for me to be concerned about Cleveland. I have to see a clear-cut depreciation in their overall dominance in the Eastern Conference, and I have to see an increase in the skill level and I have to see if the gap closes, to put it in layman's terms, in the Eastern Conference for me to be that concerned. And it can happen just like that. You know, it can. Detroit Pistons. Some people thought that was going to be a three-peat team back in the 89-90 after they beat Portland in the finals. People talking about three-peat. Are they going to do something that no team's ever done before since the Boston Celtics? And then all of a sudden the Chicago Bulls came out of nowhere, and that was it for the Detroit Pistons. So you never know. But tell me what you guys think.